Walk down any British high street these days, and you'll notice something's changed. Not just the occasional boarded-up shop, or the fact that everything now seems to be a barber's, vape shop, or bubble tea joint. No, it's deeper than that. It's the absence of the names we grew up with. The retailers that once ruled the high street now reduced to memories. Comet disappeared. Phones For You folded. Maplin's gone. Even Poundland is barely hanging on. But somehow, one name not only survived the storm, it's still standing, still selling, and still recognizable to nearly every household in the UK. That name is Currys. Currys might not have been anyone's top pick to make it this far, but here it is. It's now the last major electronics retailer with a national footprint in the UK. While its rivals disappeared, Currys quietly outmaneuvered the chaos. The story starts in 1884 when a man named Henry Curry opened a bicycle business in Leicester. The company grew steadily over the years, and by the 1920s, it began shifting into radios and electrical goods. That move would prove pivotal. As households across Britain embraced modern technology and all the domestic gadgets that came with it, Currys was ready to supply them. Throughout the mid-20th century, Currys became known as a reliable source for household tech. Whether it was the family's first television or a new vacuum cleaner, there was a good chance it came from a Currys shop. The company had a no-nonsense reputation, practical, affordable, and everywhere. Most importantly, it was trusted. Fast forward to 1984, exactly 100 years after it all began, and Currys was acquired by another high street heavyweight, Dixons. If you're over 30, that name probably rings a bell. Dixons had made its name in electronics, cameras, and computers, and it was looking to dominate. Under its umbrella, Currys continued operating as its own brand. Then, in the years that followed, the company built out a huge retail empire. Alongside Currys, there was PC World for computing, The Link for mobile phones, and later, Carphone Warehouse. For years, these shops were the tech backbone of every retail park and high street. But of course, everything changed with the rise of the internet. At first, it seemed like online shopping might just be a handy side option. But by the early 2010s, it had become clear. This wasn't a phase. This was the future. Amazon arrived with lower prices, faster delivery, and a better customer experience than most high street retailers could match. Shoppers changed overnight. People started doing their research online, or comparing prices in-store, and then going home to order the same product cheaper with one click. Currys and its sister brands weren't immune to the growing pressure. As online shopping gained ground, footfall began to plummet, margins tightened, and the entire big box retail model started to look shaky. Many competitors couldn't keep up. Comet, once a serious player, went into administration in 2012. Phones For You, a major force in mobile retail, collapsed just 2 years later. Maplin, long trusted by hobbyists and tech tinkerers, shut down in 2018. In 2014, Dixons tried to fight back by merging with Carphone Warehouse. The new company, Dixons Carphone, was supposed to be stronger, a combination of retail and mobile expertise that could adapt to the new market. But the merger didn't solve the bigger problem. People were still buying less in-store. Carphone's relevance was fading fast. Mobile phone contracts were increasingly being bought online, and store visits became less and less necessary. Meanwhile, having 3 or 4 different retail brands under one company was confusing and inefficient. Customers didn't always know which shop did what. Were you supposed to go to PC World or Currys for a laptop? What was Dixons Warehouse even offering that you couldn't get in a Currys? Internally, it was becoming clear that the old multi-brand model wasn't working anymore. So, in 2021, the Dixons Retail Group made its biggest change yet. The company dropped all its other consumer-facing brands and brought everything under a single, simplified name, Currys. The strategy was straightforward. Instead of dividing resources across multiple overlapping brands, the company would focus on building a single, unified identity. Everything would come under the Currys name. With its legacy, national reach, and long-standing recognition among UK shoppers, Currys was the name best positioned to carry the business forward. But a rebrand alone wasn't enough. The company also had to rethink how a legacy tech retailer was supposed to even exist in a post-Amazon world. If people could buy most gadgets online, and usually for less, why would they bother visiting a shop? Currys answered the digital challenge not by trying to outprice the online giants, but by doubling down on what those companies couldn't offer: service, convenience, and hands-on support. Shops were redesigned to function as more than just showrooms. They became fulfillment centers, repair hubs, advice desks, and collection points, allowing customers to browse online, visit in person, or switch between the two without any friction. You could walk in for a quick demo. You could speak to someone face to face about whether a fridge would fit your kitchen. You could even order something online and pick it up the same day. This approach formed the backbone of what became a fully integrated omnichannel strategy, where online and offline weren't treated as separate experiences, but two halves of the same journey. Rather than fight against the internet, Currys built around it. They combined the reach and speed of online retail with the reassurance of real-world service. They also invested heavily in their services division, offering everything from repairs and protection plans to technical support and appliance recycling. This became one of Currys' strongest advantages. Amazon might be fast, but it doesn't send someone to your house to install your washing machine, take away the old one, and help you troubleshoot your Wi-Fi router on the same visit. Currys leaned into that gap and filled it. Alongside its service offerings, Currys also became more strategic about what it sold. The focus shifted toward big-ticket items like large appliances, TVs, laptops, and home tech. Things that customers typically want to see in person or get proper advice on before buying. These are the kinds of purchases where shoppers value reassurance and accountability over shaving off a few pounds online. Currys also started offering refurbished products, tapping into the growing demand for more sustainable and affordable options. Combined with trade-in schemes and better financing offers, it allowed the company to compete in areas where price still mattered without slashing margins to the bone. Behind the scenes, Currys was making equally important changes to how the business ran. It quietly streamlined operations, closed underperforming shops, improved delivery speeds, and made its supply chain more efficient from top to bottom. And that's why, in 2025, the result is nothing short of remarkable. Currys has not only outlived all its rivals, it's still relevant. It has over 700 shops across the UK and Ireland, employs thousands, and serves millions of customers every year. It's weathered the collapse of the high street, the shift to e-commerce, the mobile market downturn, and a cost of living crisis. And it's still standing. Part of that success comes from something you can't fake: heritage. Currys isn't a new disruptor, it's a familiar name. People remember their parents buying their first colour telly there. They remember being taken to the shop as kids to see a PlayStation demo model. That emotional connection builds trust, and trust is rare in today's retail landscape. And trust works both ways. While many companies outsourced support overseas or hid behind vague return policies, Currys invested in face-to-face customer service. They gave shoppers a reason to keep walking into shops, not just to buy, but to ask questions, get repairs, or pick up something they'd ordered online. There's also something deeply British about how Currys has survived. It hasn't reinvented itself as a lifestyle brand, it hasn't overreached globally, it doesn't try to be cool or trendy, it just sells tech with as little fuss as possible. In a world where everything feels like it's changing too fast, that kind of dependability is almost refreshing. Of course, Currys isn't without challenges. It's operating in a brutally competitive market, squeezed by online sellers, changing consumer habits, and rising costs. But its ability to stay focused on what it does best and to constantly adapt around that focus has kept it afloat while giants around it collapsed. So when you walk past one of their shops today, whether it's in a city center or a retail park, you're not just looking at a shop, you're looking at a survivor. A brand that went from bicycle sales in the 19th century to becoming Britain's last major homegrown tech retailer in the 21st. Currys didn't win by changing the game. It won by knowing its role and playing it better than anyone else. But what about you? Did you buy your first telly from Currys? And do you reckon Currys can actually keep going, or is it only a matter of time before it joins the others in the high street graveyard? Let us know what you think down in the comments. We'd love to hear your take. If you enjoyed this deep dive, give the video a like, hit that subscribe button, and tap the bell so you don't miss the next one. Cheers for watching, and we'll catch you in the next video.